morning, everyone. It's James Carpenter with Country Living. Yesterday I put that video out about living in the country, and what I'd like to do is open that up for questions. I know that the majority of the American population either lives in the suburbs, and that would be the vast majority, and then you have people who live within the city, and then you have people like myself that live in the country. So we're a small percentage of the population. And actually, I've been living in the country since I was born. So it's been a lifetime of this type of living. So I understand it very well. So for those of you who live in the suburbs or in the city that may have questions about country living, by all means put them in the comments, and I will do my best to answer them, or at least give you my opinion. I've been on the planet now for quite a few years. You can tell by the white hair that I'm a little bit older. I've gained a lot of knowledge in a lot of areas, and besides the country living, I do own and operate an automotive repair shop for the last 35 years. I started working on cars in 1970, so I've got a vast amount of knowledge on automobiles. I've got a lot of knowledge on things that some of you may or may not want to talk about or don't believe, but that is extraterrestrial beings and government secret programs, such as the secret space program. That's pretty huge. I don't want to go off on a deep end with all that, but there's a lot going on that way, and I have a lot of information on that. So my offer today is, if you have questions and you'd like to see more videos like this, where I just sit down and talk about subjects that you're interested in as my viewers, I am more than happy to do that. I will continue to make videos with different things that I do outside, but I'm a YouTuber myself, and I know what it's like to watch a channel and see the same old over and over again. You lose interest, and the last thing I want to do with my channel is lose interest with my viewers. So with that in mind, just feel free. I know one subject that I could talk about this morning when it comes to country living is how do you heat your home? You know, in the city, you have obviously natural gas is probably the primary source, and obviously I'm not even sure about suburban city living because that's not my domain. But in the country, we heat with there's a few different methods. The most common is called propane. It's similar, probably similar to natural gas, but it's stored in a liquid form and creates a vapor that the furnace is able to run off of that. There are still a few people that live in the country that heat with kerosene or some type of heating oil, which is kerosene and heating oil. It's all in the family with diesel oil. So there's that's getting far and in between nowadays. Propane's definitely a leader, and then quite a few of us have what's known as wood burners. And I really think that having a wood burner in the home is a plus. And the reason I say that is if the power does go out because of a storm or something along that line where it's out for several hours, your furnace is not going to run, because the igniters they require electric nowadays. It's not like you have a pilot light on the old-fashioned furnaces. And obviously you need electric to run the blower. So when the electric's out, the heat's out. So the wood burner is a good alternative to the propane furnace. It's just a backup, something that you can fall back on. Me personally, I supplement the heating expense with the wood. So I run a furnace on propane, and I also burn wood. So between the two, I can keep the cost of either or kind of down. But the cost of wood, now, actually, if you live in the country and you're just going to go out and you're going to purchase your wood, buy it by the cord, so to speak, that can get quite expensive. So you have other methods. You can go out and cut it yourself. That's a lot of work. But I've come across some ideas that work great for me, and one is, and I don't do this one, but other people do, they go to a sawmill, and when the sawmill cuts the logs, they cut the bark off of it, and they'll cut that up into smaller pieces, and they'll sell that at a very cheap price. Another way for me to get wood is up in Amish country. They make skids, and there's a lot of waste product from the skid lumber, and you can get it relatively cheap. But obviously you all know that I get the wood chips. Well, those guys cut down trees too, and a lot of times they leave the bigger parts of the trees laying in the customer's yard, and it's their responsibility to get rid of it, or they'll pay the tree trimmer guy to haul it off. That is another way to get free wood, but you still have this splitting process. So there's quite a bit involved with just burning wood. You got to keep it dry. In the last video I showed you that semi-trailer. It's completely full of wood. I like to have at least a 2-year supply on hand, just in case. So burning wood, the wood burning furnace I have in my house is tied in with ductwork, cold air returns. It's just like a regular furnace. It has a thermostat. Once it reaches a certain temperature, it kicks the fan on and circulates the heat throughout the house. So maybe you have a question on wood burning, or maybe you have a question on what kind of car should I buy, or different things. I mean, obviously I would be more than happy to use those as topics for my YouTube channel, and not only satisfy your needs, but allows me to feel that I'm giving back. I mean, I don't want to take all this knowledge to the grave and not share it with anybody. It's here for you guys to pick my brain. And by all means, I'm not sitting here telling you I'm some kind of an expert, but I do know quite a bit. At a minimum, I can give you my opinion, and that should be good for something. So we'll keep this video a little bit short today. I'll monitor the comments and see if anybody has a question, and if they do, I'll address that in one of my upcoming videos. I appreciate you watching my channel, supporting me. This is James Carpenter with Country Living. Have a great day.